Let me show you some of the first things that you can do on the Motorola Edge 70 Pro right after the initial configuration. So if you just completed the first setup of your phone and you are wondering what you can do to set up your phone properly, to make sure that everything is set up properly, then let me just quickly show you. So the first thing that you can do is you can check out notifications. And over here we should be able to find this little notification over here from Android Setup, finish setting up your device. You can treat it as additional or the second chance to do something that you didn't do during the initial configuration. So that option pretty much has all the things that you had during the initial configuration. This is why I say you can treat it like a second chance, and most likely you can find a similar option in settings. Sometimes over here at the top you can find a prompt that tells you that you can of course use the you can use the configuration again. So if you want to, then of course feel free to do so, although it is not really mandatory to go through that again. But still, I just wanted to mention that it is possible to do so. Now, another thing that you might want to do is set up your Google account or Google accounts. So of course, during the initial configuration, you have the option to sign into a Google account. But if you didn't do that, or if you have multiple accounts that you wish to use on your phone, then in that case we can just scroll down in here and we need to find passwords, passkeys, and accounts. Then over here we can choose add account, then go for Google, and you should be able to sign into your Google or Gmail account, which is of course the same thing. And of course you can use multiple accounts at the same time on your phone. Another thing that you might want to do is of course set up the screen lock password and biometrics, like the fingerprint sensor or face recognition. So to do that, we're just gonna go to security and privacy over here. Then here we have the device unlock. If you didn't set up the screen lock password yet during the initial configuration, then you can easily do so over here. You can choose pattern, pin code, or password. Or for example, if you want to change the password, then of course you can do so in here as well. Once you set this up, you can go to face and fingerprint unlock, and you can set up the fingerprint and face recognition. In my case, I didn't set up the screen lock password, which is necessary to do before you can use biometrics. And afterwards, we can also find theft protection, which is also quite important. It is recommended to enable theft detection lock, offline device lock. There is also the remote lock option and the find hub or find my device, which technically allows you to locate and track your phone when it gets lost or stolen. So of course it is recommended to have this option enabled. Other than that, if you go to more security and privacy in the security and privacy menu over here at the bottom, then you should be able to find protect from online scammers, which is additional safety feature that you can of course activate on your phone. And there is also the extend unlock, for example, that you can check out. And I believe there's one more thing which might not be displayed. There we go, here it is, the secure power off, which in my case is off because I don't have the screen lock password. But essentially this option requires you to enter the screen lock password to turn the phone off or restart it, I believe. So if you, for example, lose your phone, if someone tries to turn it off, then they will have to enter the screen lock password to do so, which might be of course annoying for that person because while the phone is on, you can probably locate your phone via Find Hub, let's say. Now, besides that, it is of course always important to have everything up to date. So in here we should be able to find system updates. You can just simply go over here, then you can tap on the check for updates. In my case, I actually do have an update that is being installed now. So you can check out over here if you have something that you can download or install. And once it is ready to be installed, you'll probably have to restart your phone, so be sure to do that. And besides checking the system updates, you can also check out updates for apps, which you can do in the Play Store, of course. So we can open the Play Store once you sign into a Google account. Next, in here, we're gonna tap on our Google account in the upper right corner, and then we should be able to go to Manage Apps and Device. And over here we can see that we have updates available, so you can just tap on Update All over here, or you can just check out the list and you can individually update every app one by one. In my case, I'm just gonna update everything at once, and then you can just let it do that in the background. You don't have to stay on that menu. Now, besides that, of course, we're gonna go back to settings to make some further adjustments, like for example here in display settings, we can toggle the adaptive brightness. Some people like it, some people don't like it, so we can easily turn it on or off. We can adjust the screen brightness as well. we have the dark theme, so if you want to use the dark mode, you can easily turn it on, or you can even set up the schedule if you want your phone to switch between the light and dark theme at a given time. We can also check out the display refresh rate to make sure that you are using up to 120 Hz by using the smart and balanced option or hyper smooth. The difference between both of them is that the smart and balanced option can reduce the refresh rate to 60 Hz if you have increased power consumption. So of course this is just temporary. Whenever the power consumption is back to normal, then the phone can revert to 120 Hz again. Other than that, we also have some additional settings that you might want to check out as well, like for example the screen timeout, which you can adjust over here. Most likely you want to use 15 or 30 seconds top, but of course if you want to, you can just set up more. In my case I use 2 minutes, but that is just because I need to make sure that the display is on while I'm recording these videos. And besides that, besides the display settings, oh by the way, there is also the screen rotation over here. If you like it, then of course you can turn it on. But other than that, it is also worth checking out battery settings, because over here we should be able to find the battery protection option, which we can enable. It seems that it is not activated by default, so if you want to protect your battery from overcharging, then of course you can use the battery protection over here. You can choose either smart schedule or manual schedule, depending which option suits you more. The smart schedule uses AI to recognize your charging patterns, and it is the best if you actually do have a charging pattern. That is, you always start charging and stop charging at the same time, more or less. And the manual schedule just set up the battery charge limit, and that's all. So you can set up the 80% battery limit, but that is of course if you don't mind it. There is also the charge boost option, which you can turn on to increase the charging speed, and there is also the power sharing option over here. So here it is, you can of course use it to charge other devices wirelessly. We can also toggle the battery percentage if you want to always see how much percent of the battery you have left, and adaptive battery, which should be enabled, and yes it is. Of course you can double check to make sure that it is on. Now besides battery settings, we can also go to home and lock screen settings. And in here, a little tip: if you go to the control center, then in here we have the choice between the classic style, which is the standard option, which looks like this. It's still pretty nice looking, it's slightly refreshed, but there is also the modern style, which separates notification tray and the control center. So then you can have this little style over here, which might be the preferred option for some of you. So you can check that out and you can decide which one you prefer to use. And also, actually, there is one more thing in home and lock screen, which I just remember. And if you go to lock screen, then over here we have the live lock screen option, which is the wallpaper change for the lock screen. This means that whenever you open the lock screen, the wallpaper changes. If you like that feature, then of course you can set it up in here. If you don't like it, you can just turn it off. And of course you might need to confirm that you want to turn it off. There we go. And moreover, what you can also do, actually let's go back to settings. We're gonna go back to the main menu of settings over here. We're gonna scroll down again a little bit, and we need to go to system. And then in system, if you go to performance, then over here we should be able to find smart app launch, which we can make sure that it is enabled. It should allow apps to launch quicker, to launch in a more optimized way, so that you can, for example, save the battery. And also there is the RAM boost option, which allows you to use up to 16 additional gigabytes of RAM. By default we use the AI auto, so the AI decides by itself how much additional RAM you might need to use. But of course you can just set up by yourself how much you want to. You might need to restart your phone. You definitely actually need to restart your phone if you want to apply the change. So of course you can do that. And if you want to change the system navigation, so if you use buttons and you want to use gestures instead, or of course the other way around, then what you can do is we need to find the gestures option in settings. Then over here we have the system navigation, and you can choose gesture navigation or the 3-button navigation. There we go. Also you can go to settings for 3-button navigation in order to change the button order, in here, so you can have the back button on the right side instead of the left side. Now other than that, if you go to the app drawer, over here we have a couple of things that you might want to change. Like for example, you might want to get rid of this game folder. You might want to get rid of app suggestions at the top, and you might want to get rid of the newsfeed at the top. If that's the case, you can go to settings over here by tapping on these three dots in the upper right corner, and then we can go to settings. So we're gonna go to apps first. Over here we have suggestions on app tray, which we can disable over here. So you will get rid of apps at the top. And there is also the games folder option here, which we can deactivate. And we're gonna go to newsfeed as well. If you don't like it, you can just turn it off. And there we go. Now our app drawer, I guess, looks slightly better. And the last thing that I want to mention is, of course, bloatware. Unfortunately, there are some apps that are pre-installed for us without our consent, and they definitely should not be really installed for us. So if you don't like them, you can just uninstall them. You can press and hold your finger on the app and then just drag it to the top of the home screen over here to the uninstall section, drop it over there and confirm that you want to uninstall the app. And unfortunately, you have to do that with every app that you don't need to use. And that is, I believe, everything that I wanted to show you in this video. Now, if you're looking for more guides for this phone, then be sure to check out my channel. Leave a like and subscribe.